and this bar goes through a tube, and you can see it spline. What they're going to have to do is they're going to have to take this heim joint loose because it hooks to this A-arm right here and take the arm off the sway bar. But the problem is it's splined and it's timed. That's what's going to take a lot of time. It's going to be very borderline doing that without losing another lap.
And that is tough because, as Larry said, it's timed. And what he means by time is there's almost a key where there's a lot of little ridges in it, but there's one area that has to go in the same place every single time. So when they throw that bar up there, they've got to pull it off. When they throw that bar up there to hook it up, they have to make sure everything's in the right place.
They're on pit road. Marty Snyder.
Matt Kenseth hits pit road very early. It's funny, on Friday the car was too tight. Today it's a little bit too loose. They're going to do air pressure and also the wedge adjustment, trying to tighten that car back up, Ralph.
Sliding the right front a little bit, but outside of that, Greg Biffle really likes the balance of the number 16, so they're just going to put 4 tires of fuel on it, Matt Yoakum.
The center of your screen, Poland or Kurt Busch, as the car has significantly gotten looser. They're going to back up the track bar adjustment they made on that first stop. Go 4 tires and an air pressure change, Chris.
Well, Ryan Newman qualified 13th. He's worked his way up into the top 10, but right now he's saying the car is tight all the way through. They're going to take half a round of wedge out of the car, 4 tires and fuel.
Greg Biffle, the leader when the caution came out. 4 tires. The pit crew delivers. He's the first off the pit lane. Vickers up a couple of positions. Back in Michigan, Jimmy Johnson made repairs to his race car, but it took another lap to do so. He is 2 lap minutes down in 43rd. The restart coming as we put lap 30 on the board. Greg Biffle, Brian Vickers starting out front, and here comes Kurt Busch again.
But you see how that high line on these restarts, they float it off in the corner, just as Wally said earlier. Pick up the gas so much quicker, and they just get it, just rocket down the backstretch.
You hate it when somebody gets underneath you and puts you in the middle on the restart.
Oh, yeah. Worst in the world.
A couple guys I'm watching right there is like, oh, I'm on the bottom. Nope, I'm in the middle.
Brian Vickers started up front and stayed there, and right behind him, a driver on the move, Kyle Busch, and his teammate Denny Hamlin stepping out of line, going for a position inside of Martin Truex Jr.
That's horsepower right there, that 18 car.
Just power.
That's just, those guys have some motor.
And you see he jets off in the corner, but that 83 car wants to come back on the outside, but the thing is just free enough that he has to work it up off the corner.
Talk about Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin. They look good today. And Joey Logano, their teammate, started at the rear of the field today because of an engine change here on Friday. Only 10 laps in practice this weekend, and he has worked his way into the top 15.
And some stuff happened the other day in practice for people that didn't watch it. Joey Logano actually got in Denny Hamlin's car and ran some laps. Denny said, I'm close enough. I feel like my car's pretty good. Come over and get in my car, Joey. See what the racetrack's like here at the end of practice. That's the advantage sometimes of having a teammate. Joey had trouble in the first practice, had trouble in the second practice, missed a lot of practice, like as you said. The one advantage is he does have, he ran the nationwide race yesterday, so he's got laps on the racetrack, knows where the racetrack is.
And time now to check in on the AT&T Fastest Pit Crew Award. Here's a look at the standings following last week's race. Tony Stewart in front of Kevin Harvick, Paul Menard, and Jeff Gordon. Fans, AT&T wants to know what you think. Text the car number for the pit crew you think will average the least amount of time on pit road today to 234-567. AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network, is getting faster with 4G. Last time Dale Earnhardt Jr. won a race right here at Michigan. In the 88 car, not bad. Up to 11th as he goes around David Rudiman.
And you know, when you run that bottom groove like we just saw Junior come up off the corner and go all the way out and to the wall, you need the whole racetrack to run that bottom groove. And what I mean by the whole racetrack is that last 10 or 15 feet of the wall. When you come off under somebody and have to pinch it just a little bit, it blows you away, doesn't it, Wally?
Yeah.
On how much it slows you down the straightaway.
And if you have somebody up on the outside of you, you actually, most of the time, you have to lift because the car is sliding up towards that wall anyway. And in order to stop the car from sliding towards the wall or into the car beside you, you have to roll out of your throttle, which kills your momentum on the straightaway.
And Junior got a good run going in 3 on the 14 car, and you see the 14 car of Tony Stewart right there. Tony just checked up, let Junior go, knowing that running 2x2 down the straightaways, as long as these straightaways are, it's going to kill both of them.
Yep. Junior now inside the top 10, running 5 positions behind Brian Vickers, who's enjoying a very good day today. Ryan Pemberton, his crew chief, is mic'd up. Let's give you a little inside tracks.
Nice job, girls. Nice job, girls. Hey, showing off. It's Canada. It's his hometown, in front of his hometown crowd. You do it for the hometown, the Canadians? What's that? You do it for the hometown Canadians?
That's good stuff right there, because that's not talking on the radio. That's him actually talking to his team off the radio so the drivers don't hear it. And just patting his guys on the back and cheering them up, but keeping them happy.
And this just gives you a good indication how the car is working for Vickers, and given actually a lot of wheel there, a lot more wheel than I think Biffle was up earlier when he was up front. I mean, Brian's car's working good. He's using the low line right now, or he has been. He's going to get passed on the bottom here, but he has been running the low line just about every single lap. So he may start searching around and see if the car works better somewhere else.
And really, we've run 7 or 8 laps on this set of tires since the last restart, so it's time for their tires to start going away enough that they need to search.
What are they saying to the 83 camp right now, Ralph?
Brian's been saying on the radio that he tends to start off tight on a run, and then as he gets deeper into it, the car tends to come back around to him. And remember, he got Red Bull their first points-paying victory right here at Michigan.
38 laps in, and Ryan Newman and Vickers, 2 former Michigan winners, going at it for a position inside the top 5. They're racing for 5th, and lurking right behind Mr. Michigan himself, Carl Edwards, right now in the 7th position.
Right about 9,200 RPMs. He's turning this thing down at the end of the straightaway. Right there, you see the tachometer right there. Not off the throttle very long around this racetrack. You just hear him, you get out of it, let the car roll a little bit, maybe a little bit of braking, and then you're right back on the gas.
Vickers today started this race in the 4th position. Qualifying right behind him in 5th, Regan Smith. He had an issue on pit road with Dave Blaney in the opening cycle of pit stops, and Regan trying to battle his way back. He's now scored 26th, 11 seconds behind the race leader. A tough break for this team.
I just want to go back to that shot. Just as we were going off that shot, you saw Brian Vickers grab and turn a knob. And what that was his brake bias. So he's changing his brake bias because that little bit of a brake that he's hitting going to the corner, he's trying to help whatever the car is doing. So if it's a little bit tight, if it's pushing, he's probably putting more rear brake in it, which is going to help the car turn a little bit.
Greg Biffle, he doesn't need any help. His advantage, 1.1 seconds over the field. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series rolling through the Irish Hills of Michigan. Greg Biffle, the race leader, 44 laps in. Kurt Busch, Matt Kenseth, Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, the top 5. And it's time now for the KFC Trivia Quiz. Who won the first Cup points race at Michigan? It took place June 15th, 1969.
I'm messing with you, man.
1969. Thank you, Kyle, for helping out.
I'm just helping you, man.
And we don't need your help on the answer right now.
Okay, I know.
Matt Kenseth inside of Kurt Busch. We give you the answer to our KFC Trivia Quiz later in the show. Talked earlier about the fact that Matt Kenseth qualified great here, so he would be a threat. Now Roush Fenway cars running 1-2. Biffle leading, Kenseth second, and not too far behind. The point leader and teammate Carl Edwards. Chris.
Well, in the pre-race show, we talked about Carl Edwards dealing with tire issues on Thursday. I took a look at the tires that came off the car on that last caution, and all those tires looked good. That left front did not look like there was any chunking on the outer shoulder like we saw on Friday.